Hello Internet and hey Mav, welcome to Dear Mav, a vlog dedicated to keeping in touch with my brother and reaching out to the YouTube community. I emphasize that whole sentence and I don't know why. Today we are picking up where we left off on my story about my first sightseeing adventure here in Korea. This is the third installment of 4. So that means there's 2 before this, and if you haven't seen them, I suggest you do. If you don't feel like doing that, then it's your choice, and I can't make you watch them in order anyway, so whatever floats your boat, man. In summary, so far I have met my domi, and we went to lunch, and now we have arrived at the palace that we are going to meander about. Except we already did it, so I said that in the future tense, but in the story, at this point it's in the future. Let's go ahead and start. We eventually reached the palace and we looked around at stuff. I'll show you pictures at the end, or maybe now. I don't even know. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. You'll see. That sounded like a threat. It's not supposed to be a threat. The only thing really worth mentioning is that there was a demonstration of the benefits of traditional Korean medicine. Through this event, we were able to talk to some traditional Korean medicine doctors for free. My domi was really excited about it. She really wanted me to try it. I think it was especially because they had translators for foreigners who spoke Japanese, Chinese, or English, so I would be able to freely participate in the event. Although I had no real interest in traditional Korean medicine, if you participated in the event, you were able to go inside one of the palace buildings, which I thought was really neat. I really wanted to be able to say I have done that. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? Besides, I figured it was just a demonstration, but you'll soon see that it was more than that. As soon as we went in, I had to fill out a paper with personal information on it, and I had to talk about medical issues that I was experiencing. Honestly, I didn't really feel comfortable just telling random people my personal information like that. So I literally just put my first name, Bryce, and I just picked a random insignificant ailment. Remember how I thought this was just going to be a quick demonstration? I kind of just thought that we would sit in a semicircle and they would talk about how Korean medicine is so awesome, but it wasn't, and it wasn't fast at all. I think me and my domi ended up waiting at least half an hour, and that was fine. We got to sit down and rest our feet, and my domi showed me a game on her phone, which was way too complicated for me to enjoy. But we were about 25 minutes, 30 minutes into waiting when she suddenly turned to me and started really excitedly saying, "Steam, steam!" And I looked at her like she was crazy. Steam? What about steam? I hope you remembered that this conversation was in Korean, because when I thought that she had been saying steam, which is jin, jin, steam, she was actually saying chim, chim, which is needle. I made this connection when I looked where she was pointing and saw a man with needles being hammered into his face like a statue being carved with a chisel. They were just sticking out of his face. All I could do was stare for a good 5 seconds in utter disbelief. I was too shocked to function. I turned to my friend and said in the most broken Korean of the entire afternoon, that thing I have to do? She kind of giggled and brushed me off, but I was too shocked to say anything in return. I really wanted to leave, but I was too embarrassed to admit that I was scared. I'm not opposed to acupuncture. I'm sure it works for some people. But to have it suddenly thrust upon me with no mental preparation at all, no, doesn't work. And you want to know what the icing on the cake was? You want to know? Go ahead, guess. Guess what the ailment that I chose to complain about was. Headaches. Chronic headaches. Headaches as in my head as in my face. If that doctor decided that I needed acupuncture, where else would it go but in my face? No, 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 not, no. That's just too much. No. So I just sat there trying to imagine which was worse. Getting up and leaving, admitting I was scared after waiting half an hour and walking out in front of everyone, or potentially getting needles stabbed into my face. I didn't make a decision. Time did. Time made a decision when all of a sudden the nurse came over and led me to the doctor, and I just followed. I just followed like a lamb to the slaughter. A lamb that was really scared and had a bad feeling in its gut, but it was too afraid to tell the other lambs that it thought something was up. And you'll never guess what happened next. It's the best thing that could happen, really. The translator left us. He was like, "Oh, okay, here's the doctor. See you later, peace out." I think he assumed that because my friend was with me, she would translate for me, and therefore he was not needed. But no. Remember, my friend doesn't speak English. I sat there nervously as my domi spoke to the doctor, and the doctor introduced herself and said other things that I didn't understand. In a small, tiny corner of my heart, I hoped against hope, dreamed against dream, wished against wish, that my domi would suddenly turn to me and explain in the most fluent English what the doctor was saying. But no, that's not what happened. The doctor finished saying whatever the fuck she was saying, and my domi and her just looked at me, waiting for me to answer, and I was forced, my hand was forced, and I had to respond in Korean. After the doctor recovered from her shock, she smiled and complimented my Korean, and I died a little on the inside. She asked me a couple questions about how much I slept and how often and how active I was and how often I exercised and what my diet was like, and I followed most of everything that she said. In fact, towards the end there, I was actually starting to feel okay. And then she started some big long spiel, which I had thought at the time was her diagnosis, and I thought that I understood what was happening, and I nodded when she paused, and then I realized that both the doctor and my domi were just staring at me, waiting for a response. I suddenly realized I must have been asked a question. The panic and embarrassment that sucker punched me in the gut was almost crippling. And to be honest, I don't even remember the question, nor do I remember what happened afterwards. Yeah, it was apparently such a horrible experience that my mind immediately decided to erase that moment from the hard drive that is my brain. All I remember next is that I was given prescription for some kind of special tea, and realizing with sudden relief that 1, it was over, and 2, no one attempted to stick needles in my face. So that's the end. Sorry that it's been so long since I made a video. I had a super busy week. This one is obviously a shorter video. Thank goodness for that, right? Yeah. I'm not going to make any promises about when the next video is up because I don't want to be a disappointment. Hopefully it'll be up soon. I had a crazy week. Oh, you also probably noticed that there is no music in this video. That is because I was informed by my #1 fan, Maverick, that I wasn't doing a very good job balancing the music and the audio of me speaking. So we're gonna see how we feel about not having music. I'm totally fine with that because that is just less editing for me to do, but don't say that I don't listen to you guys, because I listen. There's not that many of you, so you know, there's no problem. Just let it out. Let out your comments, let out your likes and your subscribes. Let me know what you think. I'll listen to you. You can even send me a message if you don't want everyone to see what you have to say. Which, you know, hopefully you're saying really nice things and you want everyone to know what a great person you are, right? Right? Next video eventually.